Okay folks, we move to question 8 on the paper, and the question 8 on the paper was again a trigonometry question saying that given the sine of 39 is p, determine blah blah blah. Okay, and that was a total of 10 marks for this question. Now folks, please take this as a huge hint for you. Always write down a few more things here. The first thing you can do here is to actually draw a diagram. Okay, there's a 90 degrees here, there's a 39 degrees. Those two are complementary angles, so this has to be 51 degrees, so they add up to 90. But they told you sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Solve the triangle by Pythagoras. This is 1 minus p squared. But also remind yourself that if this is given, that this here is equal to the cosine of 51. Okay, and then play with these numbers before you start, so you can see where the numbers that we're going to ask you come from. So write a little shopping list, a quick one for yourself. 39 times 2 is 78 degrees. If you take 39 degrees and you halve it, you get a number of 39 over 2, which is then the 39 half, basically. That's what you get. Let me calculate that, make sure. Then we get 19.5 degrees. You can also say, what is 90 minus the 39? We've got that already. It's 51. What is 90 plus 39? Okay, and 90 plus the 39 will give you 129 degrees. Then what is 180 minus 39? That is 141. If you get the number 141 in a question, 180 degrees, that 180 degrees plus the 39 will give you 219. And write down more relationships that you can. You can go 360 minus 360 plus, so that you have these. So if I ask you what is the cos of 129, you know exactly where it comes from. Okay, so you've got to be alert. Also always remind yourself that the sine squared of 39 degrees plus the cos squared of 39 degrees is 1, so that you have all of this in your arsenal. Okay, number 145 minus 39 degrees is 6 degrees. So if I ask you for the sine of 6, you know it comes from that combination. And then clearly also 45 plus 39 at 70, at 84 degrees. So you have at least something to fall back onto. Okay, so question 8.1, folks, and this will literally just take you a minute to write down. If you have those relationships, you know where to go. So the sine of 141 is asked. Now look at where it comes from. It comes from the horizontal reduction. So it is the sine of 180 degrees minus 39, which is in the second quadrant. Sine is positive, so it's the sine of 39 degrees, and they gave that to you as p. Okay, so that was quite easy to get to. 8.2. They ask for something similar. They're asking you for the cosine of 39 degrees. Now there you have got a relationship for cosine 39, or you go to your triangle first. The cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that will give you the root of 1 minus p squared. Okay, so that was an easy one. That was for 2 marks. 8.3. The sine of 78 degrees. Now, do we have 78 degrees here? Yes, we do. That comes from the sine of twice 39 degrees, the double angle relationship, okay, which then expands as twice the sine of 39 multiplied by the cosine of 39. The sine of 39 you have, it's p. The cosine of 39 you just calculated, so it's 1, the root of 1 minus p squared. Can you see how helpful this becomes now? Our third question that they asked us in this particular problem was to find the cosine of 84 degrees. Now there we go. So we can see immediately it's the cos of 45 degrees plus 39. And that's a compound angle expansion that we're going to draw on. Remind yourself that the cosine of A plus B, okay, this is the theory that must be in your head, not on a formula sheet. Please, folks, if you cannot identify it in the problem, you cannot carry on beyond this point. Remember, this is not the cos of 45 plus the cos of 39. Please don't make that silly mistake. Okay, so know your theory. This is cos A, cos B, sine A, sine B, and the positive becomes a negative, and that's what you've got here. If you know this, you will recognize it. So it's the cos of 45 degrees, the cosine of 39 degrees minus the sine of 45 degrees, the sine of 39 degrees. The cosine of 45 is 1 over root 2. The cosine of 39 we've got, that is 1 minus p squared. The sine of 45 is 1 over root 2, and then the sine of 39 was given as p. Okay, so we can then take out 1 over root 2 if you want to, and then leave 1 minus p squared minus p in the bracket. Okay, so folks, please, big hint. Remember, this is how we make up, and this is a guaranteed question. We make these questions up by fiddling with that angle. If you remind yourself which fiddles are possible, you will do this with no problem.